Imagination is the operating system of reality. Imagination is the operating system of reality. In my last video, or last couple of videos, I can't remember, I've been talking about energy work, basically. Energy work. What the hell is that? You may have heard of the phrase. I've heard of it. Energy work seems to be quite distinct from meditation, but you can combine both together. I'm still exploring the base camp of energy work, but in the last week, I have had so many extraordinary events, mind-blowing events, simply from raising my energy. Now, what does that even mean, raising your energy? Now, if you go and look for information on what raising your energy means, it all seems pretty nebulous and out there, like kind of like imaginative. Oh wait, imagination is the operating system of reality. The problem is, I've been saying this for a long time, is that one of the biggest problems we have is we keep saying things like, it's just your imagination, stop it. And here I am discovering that I'm guilty of the same thing. Even though I know that's true, I'm still doing the same thing myself. And that's understandable, because it's hard to believe that imagination could be the operating system from reality. Even though all the New Age people are telling you to manifest and all this stuff, it's hard to believe it. Because you may try and manifest and nothing happens. And why is nothing happening? It's because you don't know how to raise your energy. So, what does it mean to raise your energy? What it means is you've got to use your imagination. You have to imagine something. You have to imagine something that isn't real now, but will be real. And you see, this is this is crazy, but it's true. So if you're naive, like I once was, this is a good thing to learn. Now, I'm not going to get into specific techniques, I don't think. Maybe a little bit. I'll just discuss it briefly. I'm using Robert Bruce's technique. It's called the New Energy Way. It's not that new anymore. It's about 15 years old, apparently. But it's called New Energy Way. And what you do is you imagine energy moving around your arms. So, the problem is, it's difficult to imagine stuff, right? It sure is difficult to imagine that it's real. So he uses a technique, which I've discussed in the last video, but I'm going to repeat it here because it's that important. It's called tactile imaging. And what you do in tactile imaging is you imagine, for example, that you've got energy moving up and down your arm. And what you do is you maybe touch yourself here, maybe wrap it with your hand, then you might draw a line, like brushing he calls it, brush the line up to here, and then touch up here too. Now we've created, like, I can feel that. I can feel that in my arm. I can feel the movement, and I can feel those things still. So now what you do is you use that sort of physical memory, and you start imagining that there's a ball of light moving up and down. Then you do the same thing for this part of the arm. You do it for your hands. You do it for the other arm. You do it for your legs and your feet. Then you do it for the center of your body. And you can do it for your head and stuff too. Now, he's got a few free videos about this on, if you look up New Energy Ways, Robert Bruce on YouTube, he's got like 8 videos explaining the basics. But I highly recommend you get his book, because in his book he explains a lot of important details. For example, when you move energy around your body, you can unleash forces which can be frightening. One of his clients had a psychotic episode for a week, but they had previous, it turned out they'd had previous psychotic issues. But the thing is, these energy movements are enough to trigger. They're enough to trigger stuff. Even if I'm going to say, even if you've never had anything before, it's enough to trigger it, because it's that powerful. It's astonishing Now, the first couple of times I did this, I did it and I felt like I'd had about 20 cups of coffee. I was like, I can't believe it. I was shaking with the energy. I was like, this is weird, because it's weird because something I imagined has had an effect in the physical world, i.e. in my body, like literally. It's just this astounding energy. And then I think like the next day after that, my last video was about this, I had like a Kundalini event. Like it was so profound, it was ridiculous. But that's nothing. Nothing, I tell you. It's nothing. So yesterday I was doing the new energy. Thanks, Robert Bruce, for revealing these secrets. Holy shit. So yesterday I was initiated by Satya Sai Baba, is what happened. Now, what does that even mean? Now, initiation, if you read magic books, seems to have certain parameters. So, for example, I seem to remember that, like, for like the first initiation in the magic group, like the OTO, what happens is like your mentor will go into like the astral plane and leave something, and you have to like get it and describe it. And so you've been able to travel to this place and find something factable. Interesting. But like, whatever. That's nothing, dude. That's nothing. What happened to me yesterday was absolutely astonishing. I would rate it with the highest ayahuasca experience I've ever had, which is interesting because in many of my videos, I've said ayahuasca is the key to reality. I've said it honestly. I've said it with a great amount of heart. And, you know, but I'm reminded of Ram Dass. And in one of his videos, if you look this, you got to look this up, Ram Dass and Maharishi. That was his guru in India. And there's a great experience Ram Dass has where Maharishi asked to try LSD. And he takes like 10 pills and nothing happens. And Ram Dass is like astonished because they were really strong pills. And the message was, it's in you. It's not in the pills, it's in you. All the pills do is show you what's already there. The same thing with ayahuasca, I guess, and energy work is, it seems to be the way of accessing what's in you directly. So, yesterday, I sat down and I started imagining the ball moving around. Feels really good. I mean, you know, the funny thing is when you start, you don't feel anything. And like I did it today too. I was doing it today and I'm like, uh-oh, it's not going to work. It worked. It just doesn't. At first, it's like your imagination is not tuned in. You got to give yourself a chance to really focus in the imagination. And so yesterday, I'm doing this and I'm imagining it. And there's several different positions. There's one putting your hands like this and letting it fly around your arms. And Robert Bruce describes this in his book and his videos. Like I said, get the book. It's really good. You can get an ebook. He probably gives it away for free. If you look around the internet, you can probably find it. So I'm doing this. Anyway, what happens is Robert Bruce has got a couple of like stipulations in his book. And one of the stipulations is like when you're putting the energy around like your pelvis and your legs, he says be careful because you might start feeling sort of turned on because you're moving energy around your crotch area, and be careful with that. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, fair enough, you know. Anyway, yesterday what happened is the energy is moving, but just at that moment when it's moving up the top of my legs, what happens is the energy starts taking on a life of its own. It takes on a life of its own. And because imagination is the operating system of reality. So what happens is when you believe in the imagination, it starts working. It starts working by itself. Now, this has all kinds of implications for everything from drawing sigils to manifestation, everything. But it won't happen if you can't believe in it. Right? I sound like Tony Robbins now, man. But this is what it is. You've got to believe in it. So as I'm doing this, and for some reason, I seem like a natural in this energy work stuff, but yeah, it starts moving by itself. Now, I'm not going to describe exactly what happened here because I don't want to create a dangerous situation if you're not ready for it. But essentially, it took on a life of its own, and it took a path of its own. And so it went through a specific path, came out through my nose, and what happened is the energy ball split into several different like particles, if you will, and it comes out of my nose and it starts drawing around my face. And it's almost like an artist drawing a line drawing, like around my eyes, around my nose. But the way it's drawing it, it's like a template. And you know, I would think of it like when I saw it, because you know, I'm a bit overweight, but when it was actually drawing out this perfect person, you know? And at the time, I didn't think it was me, but hey, maybe it was. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was the template Scott. But I'm not sure it was, because the face looked Hindu. It looked like a Hindu god. And it went down my arms, and it described this perfect bicep, which I don't have right now. But it defined this bicep and muscles, and it went all over my body and defined this whole structure. And then you know, there's a section where I've sort of forgotten what happened. But what essentially happened was I started seeing Hindu spirits and gods, and I was sort of ascending through this pathway of light. And I ended up in a temple. And in this temple, which I've forgotten some of the details, but it was like, imagine like a temple lined with Hindu gods and semi-deities and gurus. And they're sort of floating. They're all sort of floating, and there's elephants. There's these huge elephants which are completely jeweled and just, they're stunning. And at the very end is Satya Sai Baba. Now, I've spoken about Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba, numerous times. He's a controversial guru, but holy shit. So I discovered the path to go to meet Sai Baba yesterday, is what happened, by accident. The energy, like I said, it took its own path, but it sort of explicitly, as it was going the path, it explicitly showed me how to use it to get to this place, which is why I'm calling this an initiation, because I know how to get there now. So anyway, I entered into this temple, and Satya Sai Baba's there. Now, to be honest with you, I was a bit scared because the energy was so strong. It wasn't evil by any means, but it was just power. And it was breathtaking. And, you know, I've got all this energy that's been building up, and so my body is like shaking kind of thing from the energy, you know. So I'm going through this hall, and I come up, and I'm a little unsure what to do. And then I remember Sai Baba, my shaman told me this the other day, Sai Baba's a fan of the Gayatri mantra. And you know, the funny thing is I've got Om Mani Padme Hum tattooed on my arm, and that saved my ass like 2 years ago. But the one mantra which I learned was the Gayatri mantra. Now, if you don't know it, the reason I learned it is because there's a beautiful video on YouTube of the Gayatri mantra, which has got this beautiful visuals, beautiful song, and it goes like Om Bur Bhuvaya Svaya Tatsiva Turvarenayam Bargo Devyase Dinahi Dono no ya Prachodiyad Om Bur Bhuvaya Svaya Tatsiva Turvarenayam Bargo Devyase Dimahi Do yo ma prachodayat. So I'm in the presence of Sai Baba, and I got all this tension of like energy, and the only thing I can think to do is start singing the Gayatri mantra. So I start doing it, and it's like I start raising my I start integrating vibrationally, and then I start hearing this chanting of the other gurus, and they're all chanting Guru Satya Sai Baba, Guru Satya Sai Baba. And so my mantra switches to that, Guru Satya Sai Baba, Guru Satya Sai Baba. But the energy was still pretty strong, you know. And so I was like, you know, this is great, you know, I'm integrating. I'm like, you know, I also remember like Satya Sai Baba was very big about Jesus. You know, he talked about Jesus, and so did Yogananda. And so I was like, you know, maybe, I'm like thinking this in my mind, like out loud, I'm thinking maybe we can lighten up the mood here, you know, because it's like so powerful. And, you know, Jesus, everybody, Jesus. And the most amazing thing happens, these elephants who are covered with jewels raise up their trunks and start bellowing, come on. It was like trumpets of angels, but it was like elephants. And all these blossoms start falling from the sky. And it was like, I don't know what it was like, but it was beautiful. It was this beautiful thing that happened. And so now I'm singing, you know, Guru Satya Sai Baba. We've got the the elephants, what's the word, trumpeting for Jesus. We got the blossoms falling down. It was unbelievable. And I thought, this is a good time for me to bow. Thank you everybody for the experience. This has been amazing. I'm going to head back to reality now, and so I open my eyes up, and I'm like, oh, the energy. I feel like Gandalf. Unbelievable energy, So I'm like, I got to use this energy. I got to go. So I went running. I went and ran like 3 miles, and no pain in my legs. Unbelievable. And no chuchuasa yesterday either. This is completely with no plant medicines, nothing. This is just, it's in you. This is the natural energy which nobody knows how to use because you don't believe in it, and you don't believe that imagination is the operating system of reality. So that was just one small thing like yesterday, but that was life-changing event yesterday. That was just astonishing, and I'm really astonished. But the most astonishing thing, that was mind-blowing, but the most astonishing thing is the implications of what this means in everything, in every aspect of life. It's like I have to rewrite my entire understanding of what ayahuasca means, what good and evil means, because that's been revealed to me too. Everything's like just been revealed to me. It's like I just don't even know what to think anymore. And you see, I'm just a beginner with energy. Now, it seems to me that what Robert Bruce is teaching doesn't go this far. I think most people are doing this energy work and they're probably feeling energetic. Although he also teaches Kundalini awakenings, and it's just a slight variation on these techniques by the sounds of it. So be careful using this. Follow the techniques, because you need to really, for his Kundalini program, it's like a 9-week program to really learn how to manage the energy. And it does take a lot of preparation of your body. When he's raised his energy supposedly 70 times or more, but when he does his Kundalini awakenings, he fasts for 3 days. He does a whole bunch of stuff to prepare his body. So be careful. So my Kundalini was raising the other day really fucking hard, and I thought, I need to fucking chill out. And I was able to, which is lucky, because that's not typical. Usually you don't stop a Kundalini coming up. But it's got so many implications, because here's the thing, is if I can imaginatively raise energy in me, that means all you light workers out there is that you can imaginatively raise energy in other people. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this, because I think it's got karmic implications and is dangerous, and probably like anything else needs to be sanctified by God, as Bardon would say. Dude. On lesser news, today I did the same thing. Today I decided, okay, I'm going to do the energy work again, but I was thinking to myself, how much time do I have here? Okay. I was thinking to myself, I want to just control it, because I keep having these blowout experiences. So I was like, what I want to do today is I want to control the energy more. And I thought I also want to learn a few things, because if it's true that the imagination is reality, then I should be able to learn things imaginatively about reality. So I've got this big crystal, which I bought, and at one point it seemed kind of useful, but then you don't really know how to communicate with it, maybe. So I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this energy work with the crystal and see what happens. Hey, so same thing. Start bouncing the energy around. Start feeling good. I get the energy up to my groin, and I start feeling this key, which it taught me yesterday. Do you want to go down into this area? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And I move the energy to another place, and I start moving it around. And I'm still learning this, but I move the energy. I'm moving it around. And then I'm like, I do this thing with my hands, but I thought, I'm going to try it with the crystal. So I bring the crystal in, and I'm moving the blue ball of light around, and something crazy happens. It's beautiful. When the ball of light, it sort of has to go through the crystal to get to the other hand, because I'm holding it like this. And when it hits the crystal, it splits like a spectrum into these it's almost like electronic lines, which are they're like electronic lines. They're white. It splits into these white lights with sparks coming off it, and then goes into the hand, turns blue again, comes around, splits into white light. And I'm like, well, this is really cool, man. This is really cool. But the funny thing that happened is I suddenly start thinking Arcturus, Arcturians. I'm like, hello, here we go. Outer space. We're going to outer space. But, like I said, my intention today was to keep things in control. So I was like, well, no thanks. I don't want to do that. I'm just exploring the perimeters of this energy. So I put the crystal down and move the energy to a different place, moving it around. Now, by this time, my energy is getting really, really strong. I'm like, it's like 30 Red Bulls or something, you know? But it feels good, you know? But the other thing I read, somebody flawed on my last video said you could reduce the energy, right? So I thought, okay, let's see if I can reduce the energy. So at this stage, I don't even have to do the tactile imaging anymore. Once I get it going, it's all good. I don't have to touch anything. So I just imagine, okay, draining the energy. And I thought, you know, it's funny because one of the... I'm trying to think whether I should share this or not, but yeah, fuck it. One of the things Bardon talks about is he talks about pore breathing, and he talks about breathing in the elements, breathing in fire, water, air, and earth. And you see, I don't know what this energy work is. I mean, we're moving this fire around us. Are we just using the fire element? Because if that's what we're doing, maybe it's not very balanced, right? And Bardon's all about balance, right? He's all about don't focus on one thing, because it's almost like the Ayurvedic balance. You have to find your own elemental balance. This is what it's all about, is getting elementally balanced. So what I think is, okay, I'm going to switch it from a ball of fire into water. And so I start imagining there's water going through me, and the water's like magnetic, and the energy starts reducing, right? I'm like, that was really cool. I'm like, okay, let's try air. Because what happened is when I started focusing on the water, the vision started changing. And I was like, and it started going somewhere else. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's get out of here. Let's do air. So I start moving air around my body. And, you know, the funny thing is when I do it, the wind picks up. It's like, I'm outside. And I'm doing this, and I start, the word sylphs comes into my mind. Now, the sylphs are the elfin creatures who inhabit the wind. The Bardon speaks about this. And the idea is, if you ever encounter these creatures, is shut the fuck up and don't say anything unless they talk to you. So, sylphs. So I'm just sitting there, and I'm moving the wind around my body, and I can sense, I don't see anything, but I'm beginning to sense the imagination going there. So once again, I'm like, let's pull back. That's enough. And I go to the earth. So I go to the earth, pull the earth around, and this is my final thing. So I'm thinking of the earth, and I like pull down all the energy through my feet and out into the earth around me. Still, even after all that, I had a lot of energy. So I just got back from running 3 miles, because it's like I get so much energy, no pain of any kind. It's fucking unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now, should you do this? I don't know. For me, it seems way less risky than doing plant medicines. To be honest with you, I'm pondering the relevance of doing plant medicines anymore, because you can do it all by yourself. Anything, you can do it all by yourself. You just don't know you can do it. You don't believe in it. So once you can find a way of connecting to energy imaginatively, it just changes the whole game. Everything's changed. Everything's changed. Now, will I do plant medicines again? Maybe. I guess. Probably. But more as a sort of way of sort of measuring my own experience and trying to gain better understanding of it. But it may not be necessary at all, you know. I don't think honestly, I think it's completely unnecessary. I just was initiated by Satya Sai Baba, just thinking about light bulbs flying around my body. Who needs the risk? It's risky enough entering into the imaginative world. Maybe, but the truth is your imagination's it's already doing this all day long. You just don't believe it. It's doing it all day long. All that's happening is I've become aware of it, you know, and for me personally, it's absolutely astounding. I'm in shock about what is possible from energy work. And the funny thing is in Bardon's book, now all of the lessons make sense. What he's teaching you is how to slowly believe in energy and slowly believe in the imagination. That's what initiation into Hermetics is. It's learning how to believe in the imagination in a safe way, and doing it in a way which balances you elementally, so you don't go psychotic, so you don't get demonic attacks and all this kind of stuff. and also doing it in a way which builds your strength in a very slow way, so that you sort of mature. And that's the word Bardon uses. It's maturing yourself as a spiritual person. Because what happens is, as you emerge into the imaginative world as a conscious entity, other entities are going to notice you, and you need to be mature. You need to be really mature. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago when that witch came and got in my face, that was the first time, but it was one of the first times I've been able to like look right through her and be mature about it, rather than crying about it, you know. So maturity and giving yourself the opportunity to understand. There's no point in doing this stuff to the level of blowing out your kundalini and then never going back to it. And you know, Robert Bruce says this too. He's like, there's much more value in building up slow amounts of energy every day and just enjoying the energy. It's much more valuable to do that than it is to push and, you know, blow your kundalini out 3 times and then get so fucked up that you never ever do this again. Slow and sure. I think it's worth pushing it the first couple of days to build the belief, like, holy shit, this works. And then once you've got that belief, then pull back and slowly build a foundation. So that's the news. That's the news, man. I've got a lot of integration to do. I've got to integrate these ideas. I'm so astounded. I feel like it's the best thing that's ever happened in my life. It's like I finally understand everything. And of course I don't, but you know, you think you do, you know, but I've got the key. I understand. Oh, well, if you read Bardon, that's the first book is one of the first keys. That's considered the book of the first tarot card. How many tarot cards are there? So there's a whole bunch of keys, right? This is just one key. Maybe that's one key. Maybe there's a lot more than this. Who knows? And that's all. So, love and light. I can say that now. Yeah. Love and explosive energy balls. Yeah. Peace.